What's up, guys? So Burnley played Norwich and Brighton in the final 2 weeks, which makes them have arguably the best matchups for the remainder of the season. Burnley don't have anything incredible to play for, but they are right in the middle of the table and can easily move up in the table by the end of the season, with the idea of overtaking Arsenal likely enticing to them. My two favorite options from Burnley are James Tarkowski and Chris Wood. I will probably bring them both in for -4 this week. The one that I've already brought in is Tarkowski. Tarkowski has 2 attacking returns in the last 4, and he continued to show some attacking threat with a shot last week. Norwich sat very deep, unnecessarily deep actually, against Chelsea, refusing to take risks to score even after being down 1-0 and already relegated. This may change against Burnley, but if it doesn't, Norwich defending deeply fares well for Burnley's chance of keeping a clean sheet, as well as their likelihood of getting corners, which should benefit Tarkowski. Norwich only got a mere 0.06 expected goals against Chelsea, who haven't been defending well. Chris Wood would have easily had another goal against Wolves, but he missed a great chance, a header from less than 6 yards out. Wood being on penalties is obviously very beneficial. Burnley liked to cross the ball in and set Wood up with headed chances, which was the only way Chelsea were able to score against Norwich in their previous match, so also like Wood as an option. A good thing about these two players is their cheap price, as well as their low risk of rotation, especially considering the current rotation risk of bigger teams such as Man City and Liverpool. Burnley only had the league to worry about. They also play in the first game this week, so getting leaked team news before the deadline is a real possibility. I've decided to sell Trent Alexander-Arnold to get Tarkowski. Liverpool just haven't defended well, and with the risk of rotation to go along with it, I think Tarkowski is a better option, especially when you consider that Liverpool played Chelsea and Burnley played Norwich. I am planning on playing Pulisic against Liverpool because I could see him getting a chance or two on a counter like he did against Man City. But he could be rotated for this game, I suppose, because he has been playing a lot recently. But the fact that he was subbed off last game does make me feel a little more optimistic about that. The other transfer I'm considering is Connolly to Wood. With my team, I'm especially worried about rotation with Doherty, Mahrez, and De Bruyne. Getting Wood to help me avoid the risk of getting 1-pointers could mean that a -4 at this stage of the season could pay off. After last week, I'm sitting at 20k, and I've been struggling to get significant green arrows. I got 50 points this week, which wasn't bad, but it could have been so much better. Pulisic could have easily had another goal if it wasn't for some great saves from Krul. I think Pulisic is a solid option against Wolves in Gameweek 38+. If I was to bring in Wood this week, I would probably bench one of my City players if I feel they wouldn't start. Unfortunately, their cup game against Arsenal isn't until after the game week deadline. I do expect De Bruyne and Mahrez to start in the cup game along with others like Sterling and Jesus. This would set up a lot of these players to be benched against Watford. My advice would be not to captain a Manchester City player this game week. In my opinion, the obvious captain choice is Anthony Martial. He's been amazing at home and has looked more likely to score points than Fernandes recently. The only issue is that Manchester United play against Chelsea on Sunday, so they might rotate a little bit. If anything, I would expect Martial to sit out in the cup and not in the league, but he's still not certain to start in the league. My other captain option would be Chris Wood if I bring him in. Another team besides Burnley that has good fixtures is Arsenal, but after they benched Aubameyang last game, it's hard to trust their rotation. I think David Luiz is a legitimate option as he appears to be nailed on in their defense. If you think a certain Man City player will start in the final week, that player is a good option for that week. Connolly to Wood would still allow me to go from Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Jesus in the final week. Everton do play Bournemouth that week, so I may have a worse option to get rid of instead of Calvert-Lewin. Everton have looked poor recently, though. Neil Maupay looks like another potential option instead of Wood. They play Newcastle and Burnley next. Southampton rotated a decent amount, but I think they still have some good options available, given that they play Bournemouth and Sheffield United to end the season. Besides the obvious Ings, Armstrong or a defender could be an option, but I think Burnley defenders are still a better choice. I think having Salah for the final week could be very beneficial. I currently have a lot of money in the bank, and I need to decide if getting Salah next week would be worth not getting in Wood this week. I could do both, but the final week that would have to see me do De Bruyne to Salah, and that's definitely not worth it in my opinion. I might just have to play Van Dijk next week, along with Tarkowski and Wan-Bissaka. Then I could play my 5 mids and 2 strikers. Ings and Wood or Ings and Jesus are likely combinations. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you should subscribe and all that good stuff. Let me know what you think I should do with this team, and thanks again if you've subscribed. I'd love to get to 1,000 subs before the start of the next season. 1,000 people is a lot. Now I just got to get top 100 overall again so I can have great clickbait titles again. But in all seriousness, I'll throw in a reminder here about something I struggle with from time to time. Don't take in FPL content without considering options for yourself first. I think it's best to form your own opinions on players and strategies of FPL. Then, once you have an opinion formed, allow evidence and ideas to be provided to you, because there is good content out there. If you initially form strong opinions on something, or if someone's presenting what you interpret as a weak point, you will dismiss the idea easier than if you didn't take time to consider that FPL option before hearing the other person's opinion. I personally don't want to take into content. I don't want to take in content without forming my own opinions, because I don't want what I consider to be my gut influenced. For example, if my first time considering a certain option is because someone else is mentioning them, my opinion on making that move is not influenced by who's saying it. Do I like them? Do I dislike them? And how they're presenting it. Maybe they're presenting it poorly and using things that I don't consider valid information with regards to, are they likely to score points? I think this basic strategy helps me to understand which options I do like and which I don't, while allowing my opinion to still be swayed when presented with new information or a new outlook that I found valuable. Anyway, I'll see you next time.